Well, hey everybody, gold and silver looks like they're trying to hold their own today. Gold's up to 1335. Um, it was up last night around 1340, but silver's in the plus side. It's up 34 cents at 28.35, and I think that obviously the turmoil in Egypt is driving a lot of uncertainty, and it almost seems like the market's unsure whether it's going to be as bad as it could be or it's going to get better. So it almost seems like they're holding their breath to see what happens. But there's nothing real big happening in the silver or gold market. But I've been reading a lot of articles about all the big outflows of gold and silver from the ETF funds. And I just started thinking, with gold and silver pretty much holding its own, if the money goes back into those funds as quickly as it left, I think we could, with the physical demand of silver being what it is, pretty tight, I think we can see another spike in price. But really, it just seems like right now anything can happen in either direction. So I think if they pull some miracle out of their hat over there in Egypt and they're able to calm the situation down and stop the rest of these Middle Eastern governments from falling, obviously that'll affect the price as well. It'll probably go down. But, I don't know how they can stop this. It seems to be in full motion right now. And if Egypt falls, there's them other governments around them, they're looking, it's looking pretty dicey with the food inflation that all these poor countries are experiencing. So, I started thinking today about, we may have another ice storm here in Missouri, and we had a big ice storm in 2007, and I myself was without power for 11 days, and the grocery store shelves here were bare. You couldn't get any gas. The ATM machines didn't work. You couldn't get money. If you didn't have cash, you couldn't get any money out of the bank because everybody around here was out of power, and it's not necessarily a food shortage problem, but it's like a food transportation problem. And during a disaster, not a disaster, but a big ice storm like that, nothing's being trucked. So whatever comes off the shelves is gone. And if you weren't prepared before the storm, you try to go out during the storm or during when all the power's out, you're not going to get anything. So it just made me think, with gas going as high as it is, with the turmoil in the Middle East, what if gas and oil went to $5 a gallon? What if it went past that? What if they shut down the Suez and things just went crazy, and then the speculators all jumped in and drove that price up so high that the average people can't even afford it, and then the truckers couldn't afford to truck their produce to the grocery stores? What if we got caught short on that end? Because I don't think America is short on the end of producing food. I think we do pretty well producing it, but trucking it may be another problem. And my own experiences during the 11 days I was without power, and most of the towns around me were without power, it was hard to get anything. And I didn't have a generator. And on the 11th day, I actually went out and bought a generator. I came home, I hooked it up, I got it all set up. I had a cord running through my back window, and I just was plugging in my refrigerator. I put the plug together, and the light in the living room went on. And I was stunned for a second. I was like, how the heck could that happen? But what happened was the power came back on. So the second I got my generator, the power came back on. So, but do you have a power source? Do you have food stored up in your house in case of maybe just an ice storm, let alone any kind of disaster or food shortage or trucking problem here in America? My wife just spent the weekend with her friends. They were canning beans, and we have canned fruit and tomatoes and all that from our garden over the summer. And I would venture to say most people don't do that. And I'm thankful that my wife has the ability to do that, and her friends, they've been doing that together. But I think if any kind of turmoil hit the United States, I think a lot of people will be caught short. And I think it's a good time for all of us to start thinking about, are we prepared? Not just with silver, because obviously we protect our wealth that way with silver, and we put away for our savings. But what about food? You need food and you need energy. I have a little wind turbine that I've put together over the summer. I think I did it actually last summer. I have a couple extra generators that I bought so I can make about 3 more. So the next time if my power goes out, I may not be able to run my refrigerator and everything else off it, but I can have lights and some small appliances being able to run. from these little wind generators that I made. So, I just think it's a good thing to keep in mind, a total preparedness, not just monetary. And that's my opinion, and you can let me know yours by leaving a comment below.